Hi everyone, it's Cindy. Welcome back to Studioloo. So I'm here today with a flip through for you of my latest journal that I've completed. This is Clocks and More Clocks. It is a lovely book, illustrated and written by Pat Hutchison. I have had this book for a while now. It's a children's storybook, but this style of illustration, the colors, the line work, just the style period, it has really stolen my heart. I've been hoarding this book, and finally I decided to put it into a storybook journal because I found a second copy of it, but it was quite beaten up. The illustrations, many of them were torn, but the words were still still pristine. So it was the perfect thing to create a storybook journal. So for those of you who are new here and you're not familiar with my storybook journals, what they are is basically I've kept the whole story intact, and I'll read it to you as we go through the journal. So I'll try to keep my other talking to a bit of a minimum so that you don't lose the story. So this is made inside of a vintage book called The World's Great Events, and I just really loved this spine, so I left it alone. It's a beautiful book. It's in great condition. So I took the cover of the Clocks and More Clocks book, and I put it onto like a nice thick board, made like almost like a cabinet card feeling card out of it, added brads, and then added a metal journal plate for the title on the front, and that's also bradded on. These are little metal eyelets and some seam binding that are the closure to the journal. This journal has 5 signatures. It's 8 by 5 and a quarter, and it has a 1.5 inch spine. It's 158 pages. And if you're seeing this video, that means that it is in my Etsy shop. So we open it on up here, and I've used this lovely paper as the end papers. I wanted something that really went with the cover, like the colors. So this is what the end paper profile looks like. There's a pocket at the front here, and I used from the first page of the book this beautiful illustration as sort of the cover for the pocket. Inside of it, I've made this journal card. It's also made from the cover of the book. And then I just kept the little title, Clocks and More Clocks. You could write on that. It could be like a little bookmark, a little tucking kind of over the page type bookmark. Like say you're working here, just plop it in there. You know, it'll serve you well, I'm sure. So then we get into this this book, this pocket here with this little clock on this fun. It's like a giant bingo card, but anything with numbers I felt like would fit very nicely here. So Mr. Higgins has a clock in every room of his house. Can you guess why? And that's from the cover of the book as well. So that's a journal tag. And I have stitched, this is some of my own hand-dyed batik fabric. I've used this lovely yellow shade, and it's on each of the signatures. Then we open up here and you see some stenciling. I did stenciling in oranges and yellows and a bit of green because there's some lovely greenery in this book. So that's what I did on the backside pages of the paper that I used. So then this is cut out, a fussy cut from a children's book. And then this is the original page from The World's Great Events. I wanted to keep that lovely old page in there. And that is from, MCM is 19. And 1904, right? Because it's IV, so 04. I hope I'm right. If I'm not, please forgive me. Many things have moved out of my brain. I'm sorry, 1903. But hey, wouldn't it need to be? I don't know. Copyright 1903. That's what's important. So this is my hand-dyed yellow paper, this sort of sunburst, and then this little hand holding a clock is a glued down image. This is one of the first pages of the book, and you can already see the beauty of the illustration. I did cover a lot of the text in this hand-dyed blue paper. I just thought the blue was like a nice pop with the yellows and the kind of citrusy colors that are used. So I'll begin this story now, so I'll cut down on my chatting. You'll see lots of things glued down and things. One day, Mr. Higgins found a clock in the attic. It looked very splendid standing there. How do I know if it's correct, he thought. Some little banners that have time images on them. So he went out and bought another. Waterbury, correct time for little money for sale by retail watch dealers, a non-magnetic watch. Stenciling and ledger, which he placed in the bedroom. 3 o'clock, said Mr. Higgins. Just a flip up. I'll see if the other clock is right. And so you see his house here. He's going from room to room and he's checking the clocks. He ran up to the attic, but the clock said 1 minute past 3. How do I know which one is right, he thought. So he went out and bought another. This is an over-the-top of the page journal card clock. It's on the other side of that original book page from the cover book, The World's Great Events. I feel like I'm whispering. You know why? My son is upstairs asleep. And this is another lovely little journal card. Lots of clocks in this book for obvious reasons, which he placed in the kitchen. 10 minutes to 4. I'll check the others. He ran up to the attic. The attic clock said 8 minutes to 4. Hand-dyed papers. He ran down to the bedroom. The bedroom clock said 7 minutes to 4. I still don't know which one is right, he thought. So he went out and bought another. This man with a clock there. This is a CD holder case with this journal card inside. It's from a Tim Holtz collection. This amazing illustration. See what I mean about the colors? Isn't it so charming? This little watchmaker, he's looking at things through a magnifying. This little owl clock. Stenciling. Little differences of time. A little cat with a clock pocket, and there's just a 1 there, which he placed in the hall. 20 minutes past 4, he said, and ran up to the attic. The attic clock said 23 minutes past 4. He ran down to the kitchen. The kitchen clock said 25 minutes past 4. He ran up to the bedroom. The bedroom clock said 26 minutes past 4. This is a little tuck spot here with a journal card that has all of the clockmaker's kind of tools on it, and on back. And there he is with his clock. There's this house with all the clocks, and he's struggling because they keep reading the wrong time when he gets from floor to floor, or a different time than the last. This universal time dial regulator card, it's been distressed. It's very fun. Little tuck spot with more clock tools. This is no good at all, thought Mr. Higgins, and he went to the clockmaker. My hall clock says 20 minutes past 4. My attic clock says 23 minutes past 4. It's from the original book cover. My kitchen clock says 25 minutes past 4. My bedroom clock says 26 minutes past 4. And I don't know which one is right, said Mr. Higgins. And there he is with the with the clockmaker and all these beautiful clocks. I love the fashion, like how it's been illustrated. So he's running off again. All these numbers stenciled here. So the clockmaker went to the house to look at the clocks. Universal time dial regulator. This is an old 1930s photo of this very, very posh family. I'll bring it up so you can see that he's sitting in this very fancy room. It just kind of gave me the same sort of vibes of like the character in the book, and that it's kind of this fancy gentleman. The hall clock said 5 o'clock. There's nothing wrong with this clock, said the clockmaker. Look. This is a round playing card. So fun. The kitchen clock said 1 minute past 5. There, shouted Mr. Higgins. Your watch said 5 o'clock. But it is 1 minute past now, said the clockmaker. Look. The bedroom clock said 2 minutes past 5. Absolutely correct, said the clockmaker. Look. And then this is like a large piece of stationery that's been distressed of all these timepieces and clocks. There's stenciling on there. This little tag with all the parts of a clock. And then this is from my Mayhem, my month of Mayhem. I felt like this piece really looks nice with this journal, though. I feel like with the industrial feel of it, and just, you know, maybe she's a neighbor watching this whole scene go down of like this crazy man with his clocks. The attic clock said 3 minutes past 5. There's nothing wrong with this clock either, said the clockmaker. Look. And see, when he's saying look, he's comparing it to his timepiece. What a wonderful watch, said Mr. Higgins. And he went out and bought one. And since he bought his watch, all his clocks have been right. This little journal card here. Sellotape. And there he is looking at his clocks. This is some little clockmaker's parts. This is another of those original photographs from the 1930s collection. And then here at the back, I kept it simple. I just added my seal and a sparkly little bit, my signature and the date and some threads and things. So this journal was a joy to make. I love the story. I love the idea of this man just, you know, very much. You had to get in my little old man mode with this book to think of this little old man running from floor to floor in his house, trying to figure out why the time keeps changing and having no concept of time. It's just very cute to me. So this book will be headed up to the shop, which I always link down below in the description box. Thank you so much for hanging out with me during this flip through. I'm so happy to have finally gotten this book done. It's been in my mind for quite some time. So I will see you next time, and I hope you're having a wonderful day. Bye for now.